So with the brakes, the reason we're having to redo them is because our old brake system was designed for a go-kart, which is a whole lot lighter than what our car is and going a lot slower. So with the go-kart brakes, the master cylinders, they were too small. They were single piston, but they were a really small bore. So every time we go to hit our pedal, it would just bust the seals in the master cylinder. So that is really what sparked all our issues. And so really throughout the entire race, we didn't have very good brakes. We were actually leaking fluid on most of the time. So that's what sparked the entire inspiration of trying to redo them. So I'm currently in the process of redoing the brakes. So we've upgraded. We're going to go with brakes completely from a Polaris Razor. It's got all the calipers. I'm having to redesign all our steering knuckles for that. We're having to redesign our master cylinder mounts because they're off of the Polaris Razor as well. So we're going to have two master cylinders like we're required to have, and they're going to be independently ran from each other, but they are going to be able to be used together if need be in that situation of where one failed or we weren't stopping them fast enough. We're also continuing with the brakes. They're going to be a lot better, so we should be stopping actually before what we're required to stop, and we would just like to improve everything so we can try and get past scrutineering a little bit faster. On top of the brakes, we're redesigning our steering since we're cutting out all of our mounts for our steering as well. We're redesigning it. We're going to be using the rack pinion out of a Polaris Razor as well, so it should be able to steer a lot easier and be a lot more comfortable in our scenarios. We're also redoing our steering knuckles, as I mentioned, one to accommodate for the calipers as well to accommodate for our axles. We were using hollow axles last year in summer, or last year at Texas. So we're redoing those so that way we can have solid axles so we won't have the bending. That way we won't be binding with our calipers like we were last year. And in that process, it should hopefully let us, one, be lighter, and two, also be to where we're more functional. As well with the welding, we're having a new firewall put in, so that way our firewall is a little bit more safe, it's a little bit more sturdy, as well as we should be hopefully a little bit lighter than our old design just because we're using less material. As well as with the welding side of things, I'm also having to redo the roof to accommodate our new panels. Our roof is going to be about the same weight, but it's going to be more sturdy. It's going to be a little bit more accommodated for the driver's point of view, so that driver can see a little bit better, so we can pass the 10-degree test just a little bit easier, as well as the driver can just see all around a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit better for functionality-wise as well, because it'll be a little bit easier to mount because we're going to be using our roll bar to mount it as well. So we're going to hopefully try and get a lot of things fixed in the next couple weeks. We're making a lot of progress. The brakes are almost done. We've got one axle already welded on. We're working on the other one currently. So we're making a lot of progress. I hope to do good and go down there to scrutineering and pass within the first day. On the mechanical side of things, I don't know. I'm sure the electrical will be fine because we passed the first time on electrical as well. But I'd like to go down there, and our goal is to pass within the first 2 days. But I'd like to see us go down there, if we can get our lines fast enough, pass within the first day.
So when we started designing this car, our first decision was to, what material to make it out of, and we chose aluminum. As we learned, it's a very difficult metal to deal with, welding, cutting, drilling, and all those kinds of things. But our welding program has risen to the occasion, and much more. The things that Elijah and those boys do down there are just amazing. Most schools in the state, if not the nation, even many of the schools at the Solar Car Challenge, don't have the capacity to weld and use metal like we do, especially with aluminum. So the fact that we have that competitive advantage is a huge asset for our team. They say that the weakest link in a chain will cause everything to fall apart, and that's true in a project like this where we have so many systems that have to work together. And if you don't learn, from your prior mistakes, what are we here for? So we learned some things, especially those first few days of scrutineering, where we, needed better master cylinders. We learned during the race that our solar panels could be much improved, and we're learning, and this car is getting better and better. And so we're filling in those gaps, and we hope we have no weak links this next time. Can't say enough about what Elijah's doing. We have a lot of new students to this project, and when they ask what they can do, where their place is, I go, just go watch what Elijah's doing. Just go see and learn everything he is. And we have some of our younger students right now down there learning to weld. I can't say enough about what Elijah and the boys do down in the shop. We have a lot of new people on the team, and when they come and ask, they say, well, how do I get involved? What do I do? What's my place in this team? And I say, go down and see what Elijah's doing in the shop. He is so proficient at everything he does. The best aluminum welder, aluminum TIG welder that I know of around. We've had several good ones in the past too, and they've all been a part of this car. And we're carrying that tradition on, where we have new students right now. They're in the shop learning to weld aluminum. And it's not something that you get at very many schools, and it wouldn't be possible without this program and without our partnership with Big Sandy. And they're loaning us the welding machine that we didn't have, and so it's just another way in which this project is benefiting us, our school, our students, and strengthening our community.